Ultimate thanks is to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who gives his servants on earth the opportunity to propagate the pristine teachings of the Ahlebait alayhi salam. Secondly, I would like to thank the sponsors of the event, namely Majlis-e-Ulama Shia Council. You can see their banner over there, and especially Maulana Fida Hussain Bukhari for his guidance in developing some of the questions this evening, and also the founder of the event, Sister Femina Jafri, who inspired us to take this event to new heights and bring it to the youth of the North. On this auspicious occasion of Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba's blessed birth, I would also like to thank and extend many congratulations and felicitations to our awaited Imam on this beautiful occasion, and then my respected Mu'mineen. By the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is, alhamdulillah, the third year we are running the Imam Hassan alayhi salam speech contest for sisters. We have chosen to celebrate the arrival of Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba through imitating his character and personality traits, in particular, his eloquent speech. From advice from Imam Hassan alayhi salam, we find narrations where one day Imam Hassan alayhi salam called his sons and his nephews and said to them, "Today you are the children of society, and it is hoped that tomorrow you will be the distinguished people of society. You should make efforts to acquire knowledge. Those of you who are not able to narrate it, you should write it and keep it in your homes." From this, we see the Imam giving advice, but he doesn't start when they're older. He doesn't do so when they're still, he does so when they're still young, in order to be illustrious and respected people in society. I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that our very humble initiative of holding this speech contest is an avenue for our children to gain the confidence and the knowledge to become esteemed members in society and in our communities. Know that when I see these beautiful women and ladies in front of me volunteering to participate in this speech, know that you are truly blessed to have the honor to speak about Imam Hassan alayhi salam and the infallible Imams. I know some of you are doing your final GCSE examinations, and to you as well, I say, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala assist you in those exams. Ameen. Now I will turn to the day's events. I'd like to introduce to you our esteemed judges. I say esteemed because I truly believe that. Dr. Munzila Raza, who is actively involved in, mashallah, in her hometown of Bolton, propagating the pristine teachings of the Ahlebait alayhi salam. Assalamu alaikum to you. Sister Nadia Batul, an experienced solicitor and an avid friend, and also a reciter in ladies' majalises. Assalamu alaikum to you. And last but not least, Sister Fiza Tajwar, a dedicated individual and founder of the Imam Mahdi Awareness Campaign, bringing us even closer to our awaited Imam. Assalamu alaikum. I'm very honored and grateful that you've accepted this invitation to judge our humble speech competition. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant you immense rewards, inshallah. MashaAllah, we do have an eager row of girls. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala assist you in your presentations and speeches this evening. The rules are simple. The speakers have chosen a topic from the leaflet that we've circulated. Inshallah, you have 3 to 4 minutes to speak on that topic of choice. Then you'll be judged in relation to those topics on clarity, presentation style, and among other things, which you've already been sent an email about. I will be keeping time of your speech, and should the speaker go over 4 minutes, we have a bell this year. Last year, for those of you who know, we used our mobile phones. Anyway, at the end, there'll be 2 awards, as you can see here. There's the Gold Award and the Silver Award. The categories are 7 to 13-year-old girls. The first prize is the Gold Award, and the second, obviously, the Silver, and the same in the category of 14 to 20-year-olds. Now, I'd like to give you some advice, my respected speakers. I admire your courage especially the ones on the front row. You've signed up for this contest, and I want to say, whether this is your first time or not, you have, alhamdulillah, taken one step, not only towards public speaking, but towards the love of Ahlebait alayhim salam. And without a shadow of a doubt, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will assist you tenfold, inshallah. Before we begin the competition, just to motivate you a little bit more, I'm going to invite the first judge to inspire you with her eloquent words and, inshallah, words of encouragement. Dr. Munzila Raza. Shall we say aloud salawat?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to all those that are present here today. I'm incredibly honored to be here with you all today on this special occasion. I want to begin with some words of praise first. Praise belongs to God the first, without a first before him, the last, without a last behind him. Beholders' eyes fall short of seeing him, and describers' imaginations are not able to depict him. Praise belongs to God for the true knowledge of himself that he has given us, the thanksgiving that he has inspired us to offer him, the doors to knowing his lordship he has opened for us, and the sincerity towards him in professing his unity which he has led to us. We are thankful too for the guides that he has given us in the sublime personalities of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Salawat. And the Imam alayhim salam. We are thankful for all this. We are thankful to him too for granting us this modest and small opportunity to brighten our otherwise troubled and afflicted lives with a brilliance befitting the stature of those who we are praising here today, the holy Ahlebait. Never, never underestimate the immense honor of having first the ability to speak, and secondly, exercising that ability to praise the most wonderful personalities of the Ahlebait. I've been asked to speak briefly about Muslim women in public life. As Muslim women, we are constantly the object of scrutiny and inspection by those around us, not least because we wear one of the most visible symbols of religious identity, the hijab. There are 2.7 million Muslims in England and Wales, around 4.8% of the total population, and under half of them are women. We have been the object of ridicule and censure for far too long. The reductive narrative that we are a homogeneously oppressed group that lacks total agency is disingenuous and incorrect. We are a strong and resilient group of many colours. We are lawyers, activists, engineers, academics, teachers, doctors, politicians, and yes, homemakers too. And yes, with this, we proudly wear the scarf and worship one God. Our religion does not prohibit us from venturing into the very heart of unknown fields and exploring them, both secular and religious alike. In fact, we are absolutely instructed to do this by our Prophet, even if we have to travel to China. That is not to say that misogyny and oppression do not occur in Muslim households. It absolutely does. But what is categorically missing in the mainstream narrative is the mention of inspirational female Muslim leaders in the 21st century. And I just want to share 3 with you today. Hayat Sindhi is a Saudi-born medical scientist who is famous for making major contributions to point-of-care medical testing and biotechnology. She obtained a PhD in biotechnology from Newnham College in Cambridge and is a visiting scholar in Harvard. The American-born Saudi professor of pharmaceutical chemistry, Ghada al-Mutayri, is not only a scientist, but an inventor and an entrepreneur. She obtained a PhD in material chemistry from California and has been focusing her research since then on nanomedicine, nanotechnology, chemistry, and polymer science. Muslim women have been breaking barriers all over the world. Yet the opposition is not far behind us. Most recently, observe what censure has been received by the US representative Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib by the mainstream media. One news anchor had the gall to say, "Doesn't she have better things to do? Shouldn't she be at home?" So which is it? Are we too oppressed that we need constant saving? Or are we too progressive now that we must be stopped? In reality, we are a heterogeneous and diverse group that is slowly becoming empowered. That is, realizing the freedom that religion affords us and fighting to make this world a better place, each in their own humble way. And we are fighting too for the rights to education. In some Muslim-majority countries, Algeria, Bahrain, Iran, and Malaysia, just to name a few, literacy between men and women is actually reversed. Muslim women are more educated than Muslim men, and the same pattern you can see in certain local authorities in the UK too. And that is precisely what all of you are doing here today. You are breaking barriers. If I were to offer you any advice, I would say, stand and speak out, loud and clear. Speak out in a refined and eloquent way. Speak out in a powerful and practiced way. And speak out even if you lack any of these qualities, even if you are small and you have an army of butterflies in your stomach, and even if your voice shakes. Because our faith and religion teaches us to be brave and have courage. We learn courage in the face of adversity from Sayyid al-Shuhada, Imam Hussein alayhi salam, and eloquence from the master and peak of eloquence, or balagha, Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali alayhi salam. In reality, we learn it from all the Imams, actually, and above them the Prophet. So what must you speak about? I would say, speak about the wonders of the world, the sciences and arts, and of the human condition and its remedies, and speak for those who have no rights and no one to speak for them. And if you are lucky and he gives you the opportunity to speak of the Ahlebait, then hang on to that opportunity with all your might and speak about their virtues like you have never spoken before. Without much further ado, I wish you all the best. Speak loud and clear, with measured speed from the heart, and most importantly, not to the audience that is not visible with these eyes, but them be your guides in all times, good or bad, and you won't be disappointed. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you very much, Sister Munzila. Understand that even I, when I am giving speeches, I'll waver a little bit, because this is not just any platform. This platform is the platform for the Ahlebait alayhim salam. We are honored that in the occultation we are giving speeches, but ours are nothing. Theirs is what we want to hear. So anyway, I'll go ahead. Remember, this is the 15th of, it's a celebration for the 15th of Ramadan. It's an extremely, extremely joyous occasion, because it was the day Lady Fatima bint Muhammad alayhi salam was the Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. In that household, their firstborn child, Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba, was born. What a beautiful occasion. It's narrated that upon hearing the news, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad, was overjoyed and named him the beautiful one, Al-Hassan. Every heart that gazed upon him fell in love. Every eye that saw him was filled with delight. His smile was mesmerizing and his speech was filled with wisdom. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us, and especially these speakers today, to imitate their beautiful, beautiful speech. Now, without further ado, I am going to call the first contestant on. Her name is Zainab Zahra. She's 8 years old. She studies at the Burnley Imam Madrasa. She loves to read majalises, mashallah, nohas, and she loves to draw. She's participated in a speech contest before, but not here, in her local madrasa at such a tender age, mashallah. Please, I invite you to this stage. Can you walk up those steps, and please be careful. Let's all read aloud salat for her. Allah.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Assalamu alaikum, my fellow contestants and my dear judges. First of all, Ramadan Mubarak to you all. I would like to start off by thanking those who organized this event and the judges for taking the time out to come here. On the 15th date of this blessed month is the wiladat of our dear second Imam, Imam Hassan alayhi salam. Allah gifted him to our first Imam, Imam Ali ibn Talib alayhi salam, and Bibi Fatima salamu alayha. To celebrate this holy date, I would like to talk about the incredible wisdom of our second Imam. Imam Hassan alayhi salam was a blooming and fragrant flower. He is perfected by the Almighty with the water of knowledge and wisdom. Imam Hassan's knowledge was like no other. This prince of two worlds was brought up in the household of Imam Ali and was bred in the lap of the Prophet Muhammad. He had a natural gift of instantly knowing the answer to any problem. Imam Hassan alayhi salam expressed his wisdom through his actions, not through boasting. His constant act of charity is an explicit example. He corrected others' mistakes in the politest of ways. To explain Imam Hassan alayhi salam's wisdom briefly, I would like to tell you a narration by our seventh Imam, Imam Raza alayhi salam. Once, a man was holding a blood-smeared knife and was stood near a beheaded body. He was accused of murdering the man and was brought to Umar. When asked if he committed the crime, he confessed. However, later another man arrived and asked if he was the murderer. Umar was confused, so he decided to take the problem to Imam Ali. He asked the first accused whether he killed the man. He replied, "O Amir al-Mu'mineen, the fact is that I am a butcher. I was slaughtering a goat at a place when I had the urge to urinate. Holding the blood-smeared knife, I went to answer nature's call in the ruin where I saw the murdered man. I was staring at the corpse when these people came to arrest me. When I was brought to the Khalifa, I confessed to the murderer because all the evidence was against me, and my denial would not have made any impact. But the truth is that I have not murdered anyone." Now Imam Ali alayhi salam turned to the second man and asked if he was the murderer. He said, "Yes, I wanted to run away where no one would learn about it. But when I saw that an innocent man was falsely accused, my conscience could not bear it that I should be saved and an innocent is accused instead. So I came here myself and confessed to the murderer." Imam Ali alayhi salam asked Imam Hassan alayhi salam, what judgment would he give in this case? He replied at once, "Both the men should be released and the blood money of victims should be paid from the public treasury." When Imam Ali alayhi salam asked him to justify his decision, he said, one of the men saved the life of a person. Almighty Allah says, "One who saved the life of a person, it is as if he saved the whole of humanity." The above incident proves that judgment in material matters should not be based on theory. This narration further highlights the great wisdom and knowledge of our second Imam. As a follower of Imam Hassan alayhi salam and the Ahlebait, are we really trying our hardest to increase our knowledge and wisdom? Thank you for listening to me, and I hope I have enlightened you in the slightest. Salawat.
I'd like to invite Sayyida Sakina Raza. She's from Markaz Ahlebait. I hope this seat is big enough for you. She loves to read. She attends a Sunday school and does different activities. I've been told you've also received weekly awards from school. MashaAllah, MashaAllah. But this is the first time she's doing a speech competition. So let's recite a loud salawat and please make your way to the stage. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa alayhi.
Starting off with the topic, let me introduce myself a bit. My name is Sayyida Sakina Raza and I'm 7 years old. On this blessed day, I like to highlight the politics and peace treaty of Imam Hassan alayhi salam. Imam Hassan alayhi salam stands as the symbol of peace. He was very brave and was the commander-in-chief during the Battle of Siffin. But during his imamate, he agreed to sign the peace treaty. The conditions tell us under what circumstances did Imam Hassan alayhi salam sign the peace treaty. The main points were, number 1, Muawiyah will stop cursing of Imam Ali alayhi salam. Number 2, Muawiyah will not appoint anyone else to be the caliph after him, especially his son Yazid. Number 3, Muawiyah cannot take Bedouin of Kufa. And finally, number 4, after Imam Hassan alayhi salam, it will be the right of his brother Imam Hussein alayhi salam to take over the government. Muawiyah signed a blank sheet of paper and said, I'll accept all of your conditions, but he violated all of them, that which later onwards led to events of Karbala. Thank you for listening to my speech. I hope you enjoyed it.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah, that was a joy to listen to and watch. I'm sure that's not year 12, I think. Is that right? Yes. From Markaz Ahlebait, and you love to bake, read, walking on scenic routes. Everyone loves athletics here, I love it. Took part in Lancashire's Young Writers competitions and has got a story published in that book as well. She loves charity events, fundraising for water aid in school, and she's a council and humanities ambassador at school. Wow. Please make your way to the stage. Let's read aloud salawat. Allahumma salli ala.
Assalamu alaikum, respected elders and sisters. Firstly, I would like to send my warmest of felicitations on the birthday of Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba alayhi salam. I would also like to thank the organisers for giving me the opportunity to recite my speech on our remarkable second Imam. It's a real privilege to be here today. I'd like to start by sharing a short quote by our beloved Imam, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him. Teach others your knowledge and learn knowledge from others, so you can bring your knowledge to perfection and learn something you did not know. Our Imam makes a strong reference to knowledge. It's on this very note I ask you that what were the facts around the peace treaty? What was the truth? Authentic narration tells us that prior to the peace treaty, Imam Hassan alayhi salam gave a great sermon in Kufa. The Kufans pledged allegiance to Imam Hassan alayhi salam, and when the news spread, so did the entire Ummah. However, his followers were not as loyal as the followers of his brother Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Our infallible Imam was betrayed by those who had claimed to love him. Imam Hassan alayhi salam wrote many letters to Muawiyah inviting him to the truth. However, Muawiyah refused the Imam's authority and created mischief and disorder amongst the Ummah and threatened our Imam with war. Imam Hassan alayhi salam knew that if he went to war with Muawiyah and was martyred, there would be corruption and propaganda within the Islamic society. Followers of the Ahlebait were being persecuted under the rule of Muawiyah. There was havoc and bloodshed of the Shias of Amir al-Mu'mineen. Imam Hassan alayhi salam referenced this in the peace treaty. If Imam Hassan alayhi salam had continued fighting with Muawiyah, neither of the two parties could expect victory without war. The result of such a fighting would have been catastrophic for all the Muslims. Hence, Imam Hassan alayhi salam was faced with a situation which he had no alternative but to come to rules and conditions with Muawiyah, resulting in a number of principles being formulated. It would be wrong to say that Imam Hassan alayhi salam was forced into the peace treaty. It was a planned decision. Al-Mujtaba never surrendered to Muawiyah. He was the rightful Imam of the time, and his intention all along was to protect the Muslims and the Ahlul Bayt. Many misconceptions were formed against the peace treaty, and misjudgments to defame Imam Hassan alayhi salam abounded. Imam Hassan alayhi salam was the bravest individual of the time, a true hero. In conclusion, everyone should know the truth. In my opinion, Imam Hassan's peace treaty was just as valuable as Imam Hussein alayhi salam's martyrdom. His peace treaty played a pivotal role into Islam just as much as Sayyid al-Shuhada's martyrdom did. One of the greatest benefits acquired from the peace treaty is that it opened the gateway to the Battle of Karbala. This had made Islam and the divine message of the Ahlebait eternal until the day of judgment. Thank you all for listening today. I would like to end with a loud salawat.
وَأَجِّلْ فَرَجَهُمْ. Imam Hassan, humble and brave. His faith was flawless, and only to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would he pray. His smile was beautiful, just like his father Ali, and it would make you fall in love to a higher degree. I mean, this is a man who gave his wealth away twice to seek Allah's pleasure, for the pleasure of his Lord is an important endeavor. We learned a lot from the words he'd teach, from what he'd say and the hadith he'd speak. He said the best of wealth is contentment and the worst of poverty is humility. So be content and happy. When you are sad, the shaitan has an opening to guide you off the path. And when your path towards Allah may be weakened and may not always last, let go of your humility. Don't push yourself down. Don't be arrogant, but know that you are important. Because if you weren't, you wouldn't have been created. These are the wide words of Imam Hassan alayhi salam. Would have been for the ummah today. We should take them in our lives so that we don't go astray. It will make our taqwa stronger and our faith even stronger. And we can stand firm with our deen and our respect and our honor. Salawat. Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum. I'd like to invite our fifth contestant, Taneem Zahra Raza. She is 10 years old and she studies at the Imam Mahdi Madrasa in Blackburn. Her interests include she likes to read, she's a creative writer, she loves going to mosque and reading and reciting the Quran whenever she gets a chance. At school, her achievements are that she's a school counsellor and speaks up for her year group in year 5. I've got your year right this year, haven't I? I said she was in the wrong year last year. She is my daughter. Anyway, previous awards. She has been the Star of the Month in the Quran class, a winner of the Imam Mahdi competition, and a runner-up in the speech last year. I invite you to the stage. Salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum.
Assalamu alaikum, my dearest audience and respected judges. My name is Taneem Zahra and I will be speaking to you about Imam Hassan alayhi salam and his political wisdom when it comes to the famous peace treaty between Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba alayhi salam and Muawiyah. I will do this by drawing your attention to this one simple fact. Imam Hassan alayhi salam was following the footsteps of his grandfather, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and Imam Hassan's peace treaty had the same impact as when they entered into the peace treaty in Hudaybiyah. This is when the Prophet of Islam and companions were being stopped by the Quraysh from entering Makkah to perform Umrah. I will now compare the two treaties and conclude that Imam Hassan's foresight was clear, full of wisdom, and had a great political success. So now I will only go through 3 points today due to the shortage of time. They are acknowledgement, protection, and success. First point, acknowledgement. In the Hudaybiyah Treaty, we see that the Quraysh in Makkah for the first time acknowledged the Prophet as an equal. However, before the peace treaty, they had considered the Prophet as a rebel. Na'awuzu billah. Likewise, we see Imam Hassan alayhi salam agreed to hand over the government to Muawiyah only if he acts in accordance with the Sunnah of the Holy Prophet and the character of the pious and virtuous Khalifas. From this, we quite clearly see the enemies acknowledge the lofty positions held by Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and Imam Hassan alayhi salam. Whether they truly believed in this or not is another matter, but the world witnessed such terms written forever in history. That, my friends, I say is acknowledgement. Second point, protection. From Hudaybiyah Treaty, we see that the Muslims in Makkah who feared persecution could not practice Islam publicly, and the treaty provided a safeguard and protection for them to practice freely without being hurt. Imam Hassan alayhi salam in his terms also specified the life, property and honor of Shia of Imam Ali alayhi salam and his family members will be protected, and Muawiyah, son of Abu Sufyan, will honor his covenant with Almighty God in this regard. When Muawiyah said, I will cut off the hands and feet of the remaining commanders Shia of Imam Ali, Imam Hassan alayhi salam refused to agree to any terms of peace. Therefore Muawiyah had no choice but to agree to this point. This shows that Prophet Muhammad and Imam Hassan alayhi salam had so much love and consideration, offering complete protection to their sincere followers. It is the duty of a true leader to protect the life and honor of his supporters and followers, or to sacrifice them for a noble cause. Subhanallah. Third point and last point, success. The Quran itself has witnessed the Treaty of Hudaybiyah in chapter 48 verse 1. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Inna fatana laka fathum mubina. Verily we have granted thee a manifest victory. This is an approval from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala engraved within the Quran as proof and evidence of its relevance and victory. Turning to Imam Hassan's peace treaty, history bears witness to the success of this political and wise decision. We see less than 20 years later, Imam Hussein alayhi salam is able to state with conviction in Karbala that peace treaties had been broken, alluding to Imam Hassan's peace treaty. And therefore the truth was able to manifest clearly without the trickery of the past, and that the negotiation is no longer an option with the lineage of Abu Sufyan. It is true when they say, look back into history and you will see the true colors of so-called Muslims. The faces are unveiled both in the Treaty of Hudaybiyah and the Treaty of Imam Hassan alayhi salam. I will leave it to the audience to delve a little deeper and to discover this truth. Jazakallah, and thank you for listening.
Thank you for that, Taneem. Invite you to the podium. Let's read aloud salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Amal Khan. Today I would like to shed some light on the importance of the peace treaty held between Imam Hassan and Muawiyah. After the death of Imam Ali, Imam Hassan was the rightful Khalifa of the Muslims, but Muawiyah was not the one to agree, for Muawiyah started to threaten Muslims or gather them in the greed of money. Slowly, over time, Muawiyah controlled most of the land, and our beloved Imam could obviously not compete, for only did he not have enough true believers, but he did not possess the apparent power either. Therefore, Imam Hassan had no option but to have a peace treaty with Muawiyah. There are other documents revealing the reality, representing the fact that the historians belonging to the Umayyad and Abbasid era have falsified any event which was in favor of the Prophet's family. Al-Bahadari's remark, which is earlier, sounds more authentic than Al-Tabri's. Al-Bahadari writes, Muawiyah sent a sealed blank paper to Al-Hassan so that he could write in it whatever he wishes. Thus, he wrote, this is a peace treaty between Al-Hassan ibn Ali and Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan. I declare peace between us and hand the Khilafat unto him on condition that he, Muawiyah, would act according to God's book and the Prophet's Sunnah. He would not pass anyone as successor, and after his death, the Khilafat should be dealt with by a council of Muslims. People living everywhere should feel safe about their lives, their properties, and their offspring. Muawiyah should not conspire any riots against Imam Hassan or threaten any of his friends. Muawiyah agreed to Imam Hassan's proposals, but he did not act according to the peace treaty. Hence, Imam Hassan retired from the Khilafat and thus safeguarded the blood of the Muslims and the strength of Islam, and proved the undue advantage of the situation. This does not, however, mean that he surrendered to Muawiyah and recognized him as the Khalif and the commander of the faithful. Thank you for listening to my speech. I hope you enjoyed it.
So I'm going to invite you to the stage. Maryam. Salawat, please. Allahumma.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and good evening. Today I would like to share with you some examples of Imam Hassan Mujtaba's kindness, charity and knowledge. Imam Hassan was born on the 15th of Ramadan 3 Hijrah, which is today. He was the second Imam and was in Imamate for 9 years and 5 months. He was a son to Imam Ali and Bibi Fatima alayhi salam. He was also the beloved grandson of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him. Salawat. Now let's start off with a story that reflects the kindness our Imam showed to everybody, including his enemies. One day, a man from Damascus stood in front of the Imam, blocking his path. The man began to curse and disrespect the grandson of the Prophet. Imam patiently waited for the rude man to finish, then eventually greeted and inquired the man on his health. Then Imam said, "You seem like a guest in the city. If you are hungry, let me feed you. If you need something, let me help you. And please come to my house and be my guest." Upon hearing this, the shocked man stood in amazement from Imam's unexpected response. The man felt ashamed and asked for forgiveness. Next, this is something Imam did which I feel reflects his charity. He would wake up and lay a carpet down in front of his house and offer to help the poor people who passed by. A lot of the time it would get so crowded that the street would have to be closed down. We can quite clearly see that this shows how charitable Imam was, because he did this every day. Now let's move on to our last section, which is his knowledge. One day, a man asked Imam what are 10 things that are stronger than another. Imam replied with, "Amongst the strong things is stone. Even stronger than stone is iron, which is used to break the stone. Even stronger is fire, which is used to melt the iron. Even stronger is water, which extinguishes the fire. Even stronger are the clouds that carry the water with them. Even stronger is the air that moves the clouds. Even stronger is the angel who moves the air. Even stronger is the angel who gives death to the one which moves the air. Even stronger is death that comes to the angel of death. And the strongest of all is Amr Allahi, which means the order of Allah which governs the death." Finally, I'd like to end my speech with a quote from Imam Hassan, which I feel like also represents his knowledge. "Let not the ignorant engage you in their ignorance." Thank you. Goodbye.
Markaz Ahlebait Bolton, that's where you study, and you like doing art designs, in particular henna designs. I'll speak to you later about that. You've had competitions in crypto something. Yes, exactly. I was like, what is that? MashaAllah. It sounds very intelligent, whatever it is. I'd like to invite you to the stage. Salawat, please. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear sisters. My name is Sanya Batul, and today I will be talking about Imam Hassan alayhi salam. I'll be focusing on two things about Imam Hassan alayhi salam. The first one being Imam Hassan's perspective on politics, and the second one being the peace treaty between Imam Hassan alayhi salam and Muawiyah. Imam Hassan alayhi salam was known to be the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam's fragrant flower, which used to bloom in an atmosphere of kindness and mercy. He was the first son of Imam Ali alayhi salam and Bibi Fatima. He was born on the 15th of Ramadan after Hijrah. He is also our second Imam. First of all, I will be talking about Imam Hassan alayhi salam's perspective on politics. For Imam Hassan alayhi salam, politics is divided into three parts. The first one being the rights of living, the second one being the rights of the dead, and the third one being the rights of Allah. Number 1. Regarding the rights of living, Imam Hassan explains that we should not hesitate to perform community service, and we should observe our duty towards other creation. Number 2. Regarding the rights of the dead, Imam Hassan explains that we should remember the good deeds and overlook the bad deeds. Finally, number 3. Regarding the rights of Allah, it is said that we should obey His orders and avoid the forbidden deeds. That is surely what piety is all about, and for Imam Hassan, piety and politics were inseparable. This links perfectly to the peace treaty.
The peace treaty was a treaty made between Imam Hassan alayhi salam and Muawiyah, so that there would be peace when Muawiyah would rule. The peace treaty is a huge symbol of Imam Hassan's wisdom. This treaty agreed on having Muawiyah rule only according to the Quran and the Sunnah. Another condition of this treaty was that he could not nominate any new leader before he dies, and also he could not choose the new leader by himself, but he had to let the Muslims decide who the new leader would be. As being a leader, Muawiyah had to be fair, just, and allow people to live in peace. The final condition of this treaty was that no harm should be done to Imam Ali alayhi salam and his family. After making Muawiyah sign this treaty, he, Imam Hassan alayhi salam, left for Medina to explain why he left leadership. As history now proves, Muawiyah did not listen to most of these conditions and broke the peace treaty. He continued to curse Imam Ali alayhi salam and killed most of Imam Ali's close friends. He appointed his own son Yazid the new leader. Later on, he also murdered Imam Hassan alayhi salam. Imam Hassan did not really want to give up leadership, but he was forced to. This was because he had no support to fight back with Muawiyah, as Muawiyah had bribed most of Imam Hassan's soldiers. This treaty has taught us many moral lessons, for example, being trustworthy, honest, and loyal. The way we act in this world will be how our akhirah would be like, so we must try our best to be as good as possible in this world. Jazakallah for giving me time to say my speech. I hope you have learned something new. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I am now going to invite our final contestant in the younger category, the category of 7 to 13-year-olds. Her name is Nooralen Shah. She's 13 years old. She studies at Imam Mahdi Madrasa in Blackburn. She's an avid reader of books. She's also won a lot of sports medals. She's had the highest achiever trophy from mosque as well, mashallah. She's completed 3 MUS books, and it's my pleasure and delight to invite you to the podium. Salawat Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Nooralen Shah, and today I will be talking about Imam Hassan alayhi salam's knowledge. Imam Hassan, as well as all the other Imams, was given divine knowledge, just like all the other Imams, but he demonstrated his since childhood. This is a story about his childhood. Once Imam Hassan alayhi salam was asked, what are the 10 strong things that are stronger than one another? Imam Hassan alayhi salam replied, among the strong things is stone, even stronger is the iron which is used to break stone, even stronger is a fire which melts iron, even stronger is a water which exhausts fires. Do you all know who Einstein is? Yes. Well, if you all think he is clever, then listen to this hadith. If all the knowledge and wisdom was to come to the earth in the form of a human, it would be Imam Hassan alayhi salam. Just think about how profound this hadith is. When we think about Imams, I'm sure we all immediately think about Imam Hussain alayhi salam and the tragedy of Karbala. But we all need to remember that it is written in the Quran that Imam Hassan would be that knowledge and wisdom. One day, Imam Hassan alayhi salam called his sons and nephews and said to them, today you are the children of society, and it is hoped that tomorrow you will be the distinguished people of society. You should make efforts to acquire knowledge. Those of you who are not able to narrate it should write and keep it in their house. Imam Hassan is advising his family members on how to be distinguished members of society. Notice that he does not start suddenly when they are older. Instead, he told them while they were still children. He advised them to be well-known and respected people in the society. They should acquire knowledge and wisdom from a young age. We can also learn a general lesson from this narration that seeking knowledge and wisdom can pave the way of people to become distinguished and have a good reputation. Thank you for listening.
Mashallah, mashallah. I can see my audience is getting a little bit restless, so I'm going to give you a 5 to 7 minute break so the judges can also take down a few notes. and then we'll reconvene and we'll start with an inspirational speech by Sister Nadia Batul. Okay, thank you.